picked up these electrical boxes to replace the outlet boxes in the wall, and they seem to be working out perfect. They're actually intended to be used for drywall, so when you tighten this screw, this little flap goes flat and it pulls up against the back of the drywall. But in the Adobe wall, what happens when you tighten these screws is this little piece of metal flexes outward and it locks it into the wall really well. So in combination with, you take these Romex clips out, and then you use long screws to screw into the Adobe bricks with these two holes here. In combination with these two side clips and screws in the back, you get a really good solid connection in the wall. Sort of the alternative that I've seen, what was used before in the house, was they just used a plain box without the side clips, and they screwed it or nailed it through the back, and then they just used wood wedges on the side, and they've all kind of come loose. So this seems to be a much better way of locking them in the wall. I believe that this is called the Rayco 517. They're kind of expensive, but man, they sure lock into the wall well. So this is a repair that was done at some point. I think that there was some water leakage in this corner. So the plaster came off the wall, and they replaced it with this plaster here, but it just isn't bonding to the wall well. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this down, kind of assess the situation. It's all looking pretty solid underneath. And go ahead and replace the plaster with some of the old plaster that was from that wall that we pulled down over there, because it seems to be bonding really well. And we'll get rid of this plaster, that's stuck up here right now. Okay, so I removed the loose plaster off of the wall here, and I discovered this issue. I'd kind of known that there was going to be problems with this opening. Originally, there was a window that I think was about 3 or 4 feet wide right here, but you're not supposed to have an opening that's within 3 feet of a corner. That original window was at least 3 feet away from the corner, but they opened this up at some point to create this addition off of the house. And the problem with that is they didn't replace the lintel with something longer, which they couldn't have because they had it too close to a corner anyway. But the lintel that's holding up this super heavy wall and also the roof structure above this opening is supposed to extend at least a third of the width of the opening past the opening. So this opening is probably about 6.5 feet, so the lintel should be extending past the opening by a little over 2 feet, which it obviously is not. It's only extending maybe 6 inches. So there's only about 6 inches of this Adobe wall on probably both ends that's holding up this entire thickness of the wall above this and the roof structure. So I'm going to have to probably brace this up from underneath, and then we're going to have to close up this opening a little bit to put a window back in and to stabilize this wall, because this is just not gonna, that's just not gonna support the wall. It's a little dangerous. Okay, so I built this structure here to hold up the lintel and give it some more support when we pull these boards out. I got one out because it was already loose. This one's not really loose; it's still pretty tight. So I'm just going to leave it in there until we get the Adobe bricks to fill this space in. So we're going to fill in this space, and then I'll be able to pull this out, and then we'll frame in our window and put our window in here. But I just wanted to get this supported now because it was a little bit sketchy with just a little bit of support on this side. So this will make us feel a little bit better to work around here, less likely to get squashed.